Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Pursuing Excellence. I'm your host, Jay, of course, as always, and thank you guys for tuning in. Today we'll be talking about the tortoise and the hare. Is going to be the name of today's episode. I'll explain why in a second, but make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment your thoughts in the comment section below, and make sure y'all check out my new book, Connected. It is available for purchase on Amazon, ebook copy, paperback copy, so make sure y'all check it out for sure. Would appreciate your support. So I named this the title of the podcast because I want to talk about, we all grew up, we all read that story, the tortoise and the hare, about the rabbit and the tortoise that were racing, right? And then the tortoise ends up winning, and it's like so surprising because they're much slower animals, and but the moral of the story is slow and steady wins the race, right? So the tortoise ended up winning the race because he paced himself. He took his time. He ended up winning it, regardless of how. I mean, it's been years since I read that story, but I just know that he ended up winning it. Much to the surprise of the hare and probably to the surprise of the tortoise himself. But the main lesson of that story is that it's not always the speedsters that win the race. It's not always the um, you know what's the saying? It goes, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? That's true. Um, I feel like now, and I talked about this before on this podcast, but we put so much like emphasis on instant gratification and wanting things so quickly, and not taking time to enjoy the moments that we have right now, not taking time to enjoy what we have at the moment, not being thankful for what we have at the moment. And God has blessed us all with things that people in our lives, and so it's just a matter of appreciating that and accepting that, but getting caught up in the world and getting caught up in things that you don't have or things that you want, and yeah, it's cool to think about things you want. Like, I want that new car, I want that new phone or whatever, or I want this or that, whatever it may be, right? You can think of anything to put in that situation, but it's a matter of just trusting that process. I mean, know that phrase is overused a lot, but trusting that process, knowing that God's put you on the path that He's put you on for a specific reason, because everybody is different. Everybody's on different tracks in life. They're going different places. Even people who have the same career, who end up having the same career. I mean, they're going to go on different ways to get there. That's just how it goes. And everybody's life is the same. Because if it was, then this world would be pretty boring. And it's quite the opposite. But so it's quite the paradox, actually, because the world, it seems like a lot of people want to be individual, but at the same time they don't want to be not considered part of the wave or this or that, or trying to do things on everybody else's path or time. Like, it's one of those conundrums that it fascinates me, because as people, we always have, people have always had a sense of individualism. We always want to be our own person, or this and that, or usually that's how it's been in society throughout, the course of time. But at the same, in the same format, simultaneously, we also as a society now, more than ever, want to follow everybody else. We want to get to the place that everybody else is getting, the same way that they're getting there. Like, it's weird. It's like, but that's not how it happens. It's just not how it happens. That's not how it's supposed to happen. It's not how it ever will happen. Everybody's different. And so it's a matter of just going at your own pace. And ignoring the outside noise, right? And I was talking about this with my friend Jalen on our podcast the other day. We were talking about last week. So if you guys haven't checked that episode 4G, make sure you check it out. But we were talking about how you don't want to say tunnel vision, because tunnel vision has like a negative connotation to it, but it is essential to block out things that aren't necessary. And to ignore the outside noise and focus on what your passions are, what you're focused on, and putting your attention, your emphasis on that, and doing what you're supposed to do to reach that goal, right? Giving what God is provided for you, the resources that He's provided for you, using that to further, progress yourself on the path that He has put out there for you. And that's the end of the day, that's what it is, right? Slow and steady wins the race. Trusting the process. Everything happens on its own time. Everything happens for a reason. You don't get you don't get the things that you want. You may not always get the things you want right when you want it. You may get it in some time later. So it's just like, and again, it all boils down to patience at the end of the day. We're humans. We don't have patience. That's already been established. It's been that way since the beginning of time. We don't have patience, but we have to work on developing it, because if we really want what we're saying that we want in life, whatever it is, then sometimes you have to wait. Good things are worth waiting for. It takes you time to realize that. It took me some time to understand that too, and I'm still trying to understand it. It's not something that you just automatically accept. It's hard, because it's in our nature as sinful creatures, as humans. It's in our nature to just want that instant gratification, to want things right now. In the microwave society, just not wanting to take the long road to get there. Like, worry about the destination, not the journey. You always hear that saying, it's not the destination that matters, it's the journey to get there. It's the path of how you get there. What you experience on the way there to that destination. And I mean, because think about it, when you go on a trip, you're not, yeah, you're thinking about where you're going, but like, especially if you're going like a road trip cross country or something, or even if you're flying to a different country, right? You're the journey is what is like, it's fun. That's the fun part. It's like going there, driving by and seeing all these different animals or whatever, these different mountains, landscapes. If you're driving, taking a road trip somewhere, or flying, flying over the ocean, and these different areas in the world, right? So yeah, you're gonna get destinations where you're wanting to be, and that's the fun part. That's why you're traveling there. But at the same time, the journey is what makes the trip so salivating, and that's what makes it so endearing. And it's the fun part of it. Of course, that is depending on where you go, but for the most part, it is true. Now, like, for the most part, yeah, that's true in the aspect of just enjoying the process, taking the time to enjoy where you are right now, and the path that you're going to get to where that you're on right now, going to get to where you want to be. And it's just that simple. So that's why I referenced the tortoise and the hare, because the tortoise, he knew that he couldn't try to just outsprint the hare and whatever, and because he knew he wasn't going to do that, but he trusted in the process. He won the race. Simply put, I'm not going to go all. Don't quote me on this book, completely, because it's been, like I said, a while since I've read the story. But the basic gist of it is, he trusted, the plan. He trusted what he was doing. He knew that he would win the race on his time, on his standards, and that's what he did. So I think we could take good life lessons from that book. In that, we all are on our own race. We're on our own. Yeah, we're all in our own race. We're not racing necessarily against each other, but and now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with competing. Competition is healthy, right? Of course, you want to be the best that you can be at whatever you're doing, and competition can help inspire you to do that. But it shouldn't be your complete source of motivation, your complete source of inspiration. You should be inspired and motivated intrinsically, just because to do what that's something that you love to do. That's something you're passionate about. That within itself should be enough to motivate you to do what you're doing. So, and it goes the same way here. Like, why are you worried about how other people are getting? Because it's like, it doesn't make sense when you think about it. Why am I worried about this guy and how he's going to be, his process on getting to be where he's going to be at, being a doctor or whatever? Like, that doesn't pertain to me. That doesn't affect me in any way. I'm not going to be a doctor, and even if I was, I wouldn't worry about how he's going to do it, because I'm myself, and I have to focus on how I'm going to become a doctor. If that's what I was doing in my career. But so it's like, you have to focus on your own path, focus on yourself, and do the things that you have to do to get to where you need to be. And it's hard, but it's like, hey, if you love it, then you'll do what's necessary. So that's what I think. And again, like I say, I'm not, I'm not, some person who's perfect, got it all figured out. I'm still getting the things done. I'm still working through it myself. But what I've seen so far, just observing, just throughout our world, throughout our society today, and social media again, it's like a big cataclysm for it. It's like that big driving force behind it. So everybody's seeing what everybody else is doing, and they're worried about like, oh well, dang, he's already doing this, or she's already doing that, and I haven't even done this. And it's like it creates a whole mental, completely cognitively disrupts things in your brain. It can really cause psychological distress, and that's something that you don't want. So uh, it's just a matter of just again keeping your eyes on your own path, focusing on what you have to focus on, and not worrying about what else is going on around you, right? Wish I would have known that like in high school, right? But I mean, we all go through those phases, where it's like worry about everybody else is wearing this and that and that and that, blah 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 blah. But it's like now that I'm in college, now that I'm out here, I'm doing my own thing. I'm starting to realize that you are in control of your life. I mean, God is in control, but you're also in control. He's giving what He gives you the access to. He gives you the keys to what you have to do. So you're in control of the car from that point. So it's like God's giving you the car. Like He's giving you the keys. Like, hey, now this is what I'm providing for you. Now you gotta take it and drive carefully and drive your own at your speed that you're going at. Drive this, or you can go take it and just go try to speed along and rush to get to the destination and crash in the process. You don't want that. So that's just the main thing that I like to think about. I like to think about it that way. Visually, that's a good way to paint the picture. But it's just so important, and I love God with my heart, and I know that He's got us all. I know that He's got us set on our own different ways and paths to get to where we want to be, and that's like I said, that's at the end of the day, that's how it should be. It shouldn't be the same, because we're not all the same people. So, it's just understanding that, guys. Really, that's all it is. Understanding that, knowing that it's going to take hard work and discipline, and the tunnel vision aspect of it. Ignore the outside noise. Keep focusing on what you have to focus on, because at the end of the day, you control what you can control, and those outside factors aren't going to help you, in any way. Or hurt you, right? So it's like you can't give the power to help or hurt you. So that's what it is at the end of the day. But thank y'all for tuning in today's episode. That's what I want to talk about. So that's title, of course, the tortoise and the hare. Again, the main overall aspect of this episode being slow and steady wins the race. Take your time, take your process, trust what God has planned for you, and follow the path that He has set in front of you, and you will get to where you desire. Thank you for watching this episode of Pursuing Excellence. We'll see you next time.